Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ben and JB from JBM Sports Media coming at you guys with our NBA trade deadline reactions to this Wednesday's edition of it. I mean, we only have 24 hours left until the trade deadline. I think it's Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, the final cut. And we had some trades here today. Obviously, the massive one that we're about to get into right now, and that is Anthony Davis being traded to the Washington Wizards alongside of Jaden Hardy, D'Lo, Dante Exum, and going back to the Mavericks, we have Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders. JV, AD back on the move for a second deadline in a row. What do you think about this?
I honestly thought that the Wizards were a dark horse in this a deal like that. For a deal like this, I didn't expect them to pull off a trade like this, especially considering Washington had just traded for Trae Young a couple of weeks prior, and I feel like they were only involved because Trae Young picked them. I don't really think that they even knew that they were involved so heavily for Trae Young. So the fact they came in, kind of the last second, like you said, 24 hours to go. Washington figures, all right, let's make a move. And pair him up with Trae Young. The only problem is AD's health. I have no problem with the type of package that they got, in return and what they gave up, but it's his health. It's can he stay on the floor? Is he going to be healthy enough to, get good enough time with Trae Young and kind of solidify their relationship on the court? That's the only negative for me, with this whole deal is the fact that his health really is always something that comes into question. I do like it. I do like it. Like I said, based on the health. If he can stay healthy, that's a nice little 1-2 punch that Washington kind of just built for themselves.
Yeah, and the 2 first-round picks are actually a Warriors lottery protected pick from 2030, and I think the other one's a Rockets or OKC protected pick via going to the Dallas Mavericks. So it really just puts into perspective how tragic the Luka Doncic trade is aging out to be, because just another one of those pillars of that trade, AD, gone now. And then when you look at Max Christie, yeah, he's giving you buckets, but Luka's over there averaging 30 in LA, and he's balling, and you traded him because of supposedly, defensive concerns. Even weight came into an issue. Like, bro, and now this guy that couldn't stay healthy for you guys is going to Washington, and you don't even get first-round picks from the actual Wizards. So, I mean, I actually really like this move for Washington. I think this puts them in a prime situation for next year. I mean, play-in contenders. I mean, at this point, that's what they got to be looking for. I mean, they've been bad for so long. They haven't had a above 500 season or a winning season since, I think, 2017, I was reading. So it's been a hot minute since the John Wall, Bradley Beal era. I think this is a good turnaround. It just, depends on AD's health. Like you said, that's it. That's really all it depends on.
And not for nothing, I like this for Cooper Flagg too, and I'll explain why. I think with AD going in and out constantly with injury, it kind of changes how the offensive structure is kind of progressing over there,
right?
And that could actually mess with Flagg. So I think this is actually a good move. It gets rid of the dead weight. His injuries, like I said, when he comes back, now he wants the ball, right? He's a very ball dominant big who wants to be able to shoot the 20-footer. He also wants to be able to back down in the paint, and he wants to be able to dominate. And that's going to take away from Flagg's progress. Obviously, it would have been nice if they were both able to be on the court together and work through that. But I think with him going in and out, it's just too much, and it kind of messes up the offensive flow. And what they're asking of Flagg to do with him, and not being on the floor. Then when AD comes back on the floor, it's a different offense. So I think not to get this kid confused and not feeling like he has a grip with the offense. I do think that this was a small move for Dallas.
Yeah, and I haven't seen no rumblings on Kyrie. I did see a report about 24 hours ago saying that he's on track for a return post All-Star break. So at that point, like, what's the point of having, like, I guess as a veteran, right? But I think Kyrie knows that he wants to still compete for a championship. Like, do you want to maybe even push that luck, finding a trade for him? I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen him on the court this whole year, and coming back from a torn ACL, that's a little bit tricky. But I'm just wondering what direction the Mavericks are fully pivoting. Is that a full rebuild, which I think that they are going to, which is kind of just crazy knowing this team was in the finals about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy how bad they've fallen off since. And just shows you how bad that Luka Doncic trade, like I said, is aging very, very, very poorly on Nico Harrison in that front office. I mean, Nico Harrison got fired, so he's not even there anymore. But Yeah,
But basically, the front office is still cleaning up his mess. Is what's going on.
cleaning up his mess big time. I do like this for the Wizards. They do have a young core going into next year. Obviously, they're trying to keep their pick in the top 7, I believe it is. If not, it falls out, or top 8. So if they do keep their pick and obviously get blessed in the lottery, maybe a top 3 pick, at that with Trae Young, AD, Alex Sarr, Bilal Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson. All right, you might have something cooking. If these guys stay healthy, Trae Young as well. I know he's had his injury concerns, but if these guys stay healthy and then you add a potential top 5 pick, you guys are in a pretty good situation in Washington. And now you're looking as some teams may be falling down in the East, potentially my Bucks if we trade Giannis, potentially the Bulls. I mean, we'll talk about them in a second. Look, that's an open gap right there that they could fit in.
Yeah, not for nothing. They can't get any worse than what they are. So
Yeah,
you
they
know,
have
the
to do
couple
something.
they have to do something. So the couple of moves that they made today, and a couple of moves that they made in 2 or 3 weeks ago for Trae Young, I think it. Hopefully, if everything works out, they could be a little bit better than what they are today.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into another trade that broke right after this. And this is actually a very low-key trade. The 76ers are trading guard Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a Rockets 26 first-round pick and 3 second-round picks. I think this is just OKC being OKC, finding a little gem. Obviously, Jared McCain coming back from injury, his minutes were kind of depleted, kind of got bumped out of that rotation. In a way like Jaden Ivey from the Pistons, I think that's a good comparison. He was bouncing back in 2026, actually doing pretty good recently. And now he's going to get the opportunity to compete in OKC for a championship. I actually really love this for the kid. Obviously, he did have his injury. So bouncing back from that, I think this is a pretty good move right here for the OKC Thunder. I think they found a little bit of a gem right here.
Yeah, and to me, this was a nice little depth move for their bench. I think,
Yeah.
McCain, obviously his numbers are a little underwhelming, but obviously that was due to injury as well, mixing in, with some unlucky stat line there. But I think, forget the stat line. I think what this just spells out for, OKC is that they're just trying to solidify their bench a little bit more come playoff time, and, just be able to give some guys some minutes towards maybe the back end of a game when they have a big lead, or maybe they bring him in just to get his feet wet, obviously, and show him actually some minutes. He averages about 16 to 17 minutes. I've seen on the front end he could average anywhere from 25 to 26. So when he's on the floor, he's obviously a fundamental piece to Philly's success. But I think now with OKC, this is just to show up their bench and just help some guys out in that rotation.
Yeah, and you see most likely at this point Quentin Grimes to possibly re-sign with the 76ers, and players like BJ Edgecombe, the top 3 pick, he's getting minutes. And McCain just got boosted out. He got boosted out, and it's a good thing for him now. He's going to OKC knowing that they need a little bit more depth, especially right now. For example, talking about the injuries that OKC have, Shea out for 2 weeks. He's going to fit in right there perfectly, get some minutes in, get some reps in before and after the All-Star break. So I like this move by OKC. Did they probably do this as well because they're thinking about another championship push, adding more depth to the bench? Yeah, I think it's finding a gem right here with Jared McCain, because I wasn't very impressed with his rookie year till he got injured. I believe he tore his meniscus, I believe it was.
Yes.
Which was unfortunate because the kid was balling out in Philly. But like I said, he's out of there. Onto OKC. I like it. I think it's a good gem find for OKC. Let's move on to a trade. The Bulls keep on heating it up this trade deadline. The Chicago Bulls are trading Kobe White, Mike Conley to the Charlotte Hornets for Colin Sexton, Ousmane Dieng, and 3 second-round picks. Kobe White, the era of him and Vucevic, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, finally done in Chicago officially. He's going to Charlotte, and for Charlotte, a team that's won 7 in a row, adding a player like Kobe White who could give you 15 a night. I like this for the Hornets.
Yeah, me too. Listen. Obviously, the writing was on the wall for Kobe White. Watching everybody get dealt from Chicago. Obviously Vucevic last night to the Celtics. The other night to Boston.
Yeah.
Like we said, this was something that we saw. We predicted this. You even had said in our prediction show that he was somebody that was going to be off the board
I did,
during this deadline. So, and it came to fruition. We got a couple of these right, not for nothing. We had said that Boston was going to get their big man, which they did. And we had said that Anthony Simmons was going to get dealt as well, and Kobe White was on that list. So that's 3 for 3, honestly, with our deadline selections. So listen, I personally think the Hornets, they are taking some big strides right now. They're playing really well. They're trying to fight for a play-in spot in that Eastern Conference. And like you said, this guy can give you 15 to 20 every night. He could really, really shoot the basketball. I think he could be a real nice little piece for this Hornets team that's kind of young. And not for nothing, I think he brings a little bit of a veteran presence where, he could actually, take over a game and score for this team and not leave it up to LaMelo Ball having to do everything. And obviously
True.
Bridges as well. So, it takes a little pressure off those two guys who have to do the bulk of the scoring in Charlotte. So adding White was, to me, a nice piece for this Hornets team.
Yeah, and it looks like from reports as well that the Bulls are looking to reroute Colin Sexton, which makes sense. I mean, they do still have a lot of guards. They're adding guards, getting rid of guards, so it's they're doing a little bit of 50-50. Obviously, they're still looking on a move for Ayo Dosunmu, who I think will probably get traded before the deadline, if you're asking me, especially because he's looking to get paid this offseason. I think this is a great move for the Hornets, knowing that now they get a guy that can average 15 to 17. I mean, quit playing. I think now that they're on this 7-game winning streak, you're seeing the chemistry flow. Konkanipo, who arguably would have my vote. I mean, I wouldn't say he would. Yeah, I think he would have my vote for Rookie of the Year. It's between him and Cooper Flag, obviously, but he's been balling in Charlotte. I would love to see him in the three-point contest. Hopefully he's in there. And Miles Bridges, who, fun stat for everybody out here, he is the third leading scorer in Charlotte Hornets franchise history. Miles Bridges, yes, that says, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say right there, but good depth move right here. Will he be the starting point guard? I don't know. LaMelo's been coming off the bench recently, hasn't he?
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure. Tim Hardaway Jr. Okay, never mind. I thought he got traded, but no, it just said he's starting the second half. But look, I'll say this. For the Bulls, keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all cleaning house. Y'all actually doing exactly what a lot of Bulls fans want you to do. And that's not really, I would say, tank, but there's a very loaded draft class. There's not going to be a loaded draft class like this after 28 and 29. So, look, if that's something that you guys are going to do, I say do it. Go on, embrace the tank, because right now, like I said, you guys are projected to have the 14th pick or 13th pick, barely in the lottery. You guys got to get in depth, maybe top 5, top 8. I mean, my Bucks have a better pick right now than the Bulls. And
yeah, that's true.
And we just beat the brakes off of them yesterday. So they got to do something, either tank or go out to win. I heard they're still in rumblings for Zion, which would be like, I mean, which way are you going at that point? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll just wait to see. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do get Zion, by the way. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I think Zion's going to wait until the summer, though. I think Zion's a summer move now. I did pick him to get dealt for the deadline, but I think it's going to be too little time for them to build a package that's going to be good enough. And that's something that's going to have to be discussed during the summer, to be honest with you.
That's super fair. All right, let's keep it going right here. I guess we'll go on to this one. Yeah, I guess we will. Lonzo Ball traded to the Utah Jazz, and then moments later, unfortunately, he was cut. And
yeah, so I made a video about this, and you had literally, as I was about to make the video, you had texted me and said, "Don't forget to add this," and it literally had gotten waived about 30 seconds after the first one of him being traded. So it's kind of crazy what's going on with Lonzo Ball, to be honest with you.
And the crazy thing about it is they sent 2 second-round picks to Utah for this guy as well. So he's had.
And what's even crazier is that Utah said, "No, we can't do anything with you." So
yeah, you don't fit. And to be honest, he doesn't really fit on their mold right now.
No,
they're very young and gun, very fun team. I mean, they're becoming a fun team after the trade that they just made. And I'm going to be watching more Jazz games down the stretch, especially if Triple J keeps playing there. Look, Lonzo, where's he going to go? I mean, possibly to a contender, but this guy's been playing piss poor. He's shooting the 3-ball poorly. He's shooting from the field poorly. I think he's averaging 4.6 points per game. Man,
it's not been good.
No bueno. I mean, they picked him up from Cleveland for Isaac Okoro. That was a swap with him and the Bulls. Isaac Okoro, actually, he's been looking better for the Bulls, and Lonzo Ball's been looking like crap. I got to be honest. I won't even say the word, but, this guy, I'm not going to say, obviously, very remarkable story how he came back from injury. If you read into it, obviously getting a whole new knee, basically, a whole new kneecap from somebody that passed away, and the family and him, they still get along perfectly. It's a beautiful story, but it hasn't looked good for him in his first full year back at all.
No, definitely not. And not for nothing, I kind of think, Cleveland giving up two picks as well. I know they're not first-round picks. They're second-rounders. I get it. But good for the Jazz.
Good for the Jazz.
They got a player that they don't even need, and they got the picks. So
the picks, that was it.
It just showed you, hey, listen, we're doing this for the picks. Obviously, you need a player in there to make it work. No problem. We're going to cut him anyway. So it just shows that they're being a little bit ballsy and they're going to wait and obviously build up their draft capital, which makes sense. And like I said, they got a couple of picks in this, so it obviously worked out. And I think they're going to use that either via trade or actually use it in the draft to, bolster their lineup. So we'll see what happens, with how they use these picks that they got.
I think a very interesting point. I saw reports come out, and Cam Thomas was ruled out today, personal, but we know what that means. The Cavs and the Bucks are on, trade watch for Cam Thomas, the guard of the Brooklyn Nets. I think maybe they're opening up a space in Cleveland for a guy like Cam Thomas, and that would be brilliant. And
that would be really nice.
Lonzo. I did see also, unfortunately, which I don't think I would care. I mean, really, but the Bucks are interested in picking up Lonzo Ball, and it's just be like, I mean, why? I don't know, but would you be willing to take a waiver on him for the Knicks or not?
Listen, it doesn't work for the Knicks. Like, just because I'm not saying it just because I'm a Knicks fan. It doesn't work. But he's obviously a low risk, high reward guy. I don't see him being something that hurts a team. I just don't think right now he's not fitting with a couple of teams, and I don't think there's a real need for him right now. Honestly, on most of these contenders, maybe the Miami Heat are trying to go after him.
Possibly.
Possibly. There's to me, it's very few and far between. I don't think there's a lot of teams really right now that need his services. And I think a team that does pick him up might be a team that's not in contention, that maybe just wants to fill out their roster, honestly. I don't see him going to a contender because I don't think he's going to be able to actually help a contender.
Yeah, good point. All right, let's keep it going. Real quick before we do end off this video right here, we have to talk about another trade that did go down. Unfortunately, it's just this one we have to talk about it out of respect, but really it's whatever. Clippers, Nets, Raptors, multi-team trade. Sending Chris Paul to the Raptors for Ochai Agbaji. All right. A 2032 Raptors second rounder and cash to the Nets. Actually, funny right here. The Raptors will not require Chris Paul to report to the team. And I was reading that he actually could be cut. So, yeah.
The fact that he didn't even have to report to the team is basically showing that he's going to get cut. So it's like they probably told him, hey, listen, we traded you, but be prepared. You're going to get cut or waived. So that's why I had posted in our video today also that there was a catch behind this and that he didn't have to quite report to Toronto, which not for nothing. That would have been a nice little move for Toronto. A veteran point guard, but yeah, a veteran presence. But I think CP3 is done in the league. Honestly, I don't see how he fits anywhere with anyone, even a contender. I don't see how he gets any minutes. I think at this point he has to really sit down and in the summer and kind of weigh his options as a player in this league. I just don't see how it fits anywhere, to be honest with you.
Well, supposedly, I think it came out, this was his last year, and this is what a way to go out, getting traded by the Clippers. First they cut him, then they traded him.
Oh, that's right. He did say he was retiring. I forgot because he wasn't even getting a farewell tour from anybody. So.
Yeah. So now he's cut.
Actually got cut. He got cut after saying that, right? He was like I'm retiring, and then he got cut. Yes. Yeah, so it's like the disrespect is real, honestly, right now towards Chris Paul. It's definitely real.
Yeah, I for sure. Hopefully, this is not a hot or overrated. I consider him overrated a little bit, but. No hate. No legend should be going out like this. I'll say that. He's going out sad. LeBron, Curry, KD, they never would go out like this. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, those guys are legends in their own right. And not to say that CP3, not to say that he wasn't. I mean, he was a phenomenal. He was one of the best point guards at least for 10 years in his prime. He was definitely fantastic, but he just choked in the playoffs. He couldn't get it done. Obviously, with Houston and James Harden, were his best shot to get to a finals, and they choked that series against Golden State. I think
they choked that one.
We all remember that. We'll never forget that. So that's going to be something that's on his resume that he's going to have to live with. That he couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs.
0 rings.
Yeah. So and now the time has come where he's basically done, and that's pretty much it. I think the writing is on the wall here for CP3.
It'd be nice if maybe he before the All-Star game he announces like, "Yo guys, going to the All-Star game. It is in LA. It's gonna be it. Give me like a little bit of that's it. Like probably nobody would care. They would probably have to do that outside the arena or something like that.
I truly don't think anybody really cares, to be honest with you. I think
nobody. Like he'll get his. I mean,
he definitely wore out his welcome. He wore out his welcome a little bit. He comes off a little cocky. He comes off like he knows everything. He comes off as like
that's why he got cut by the Clippers.
He comes off as if he's a mentor to everybody, and maybe not everybody wants to feel like they need a mentor, and maybe not everybody wants to feel like your opinion is everything to them. So maybe he
Yeah,
just wanted to smoke, to be honest with you.
supposedly the rumblings were that Kawhi and Harden, obviously Harden's not there no more, but he was balling when he was.
Right.
In Kawhi, they were getting like Chris Paul, and in practices, Chris Paul was trying to be a mentor. Like, come on, bro, get your weak ass out of here. Like, nobody.
Yeah, for real. That's
Come
what I'm
on,
saying. Maybe some of these young guys are smarter than what everybody thinks. Maybe they're just like, you know what, old head.
come on, bro.
No one's listening to you, man.
Especially
Go.
you trying to give Kawhi advice? Come on, bro.
That's
Like,
what I'm
he's
saying. Like,
one with 2 franchises, bro. Come on.
right, and he went with Toronto basically by
Yeah,
himself.
come on,
So I
bro.
mean,
Exactly.
he doesn't need any help from anybody. So
So sad end, because I think that's probably it. I don't think he gets picked up. Well, who knows?
make
Maybe
sure the water bottles are filled up.
make sure the water bottles are filled. That's it. Yo, this guy, I'm telling you, this is what happens when you come off cocky in the league, though.
That's it.
It comes backfires on you eventually, bro.
The only way you could be that cocky is if you've won multiple times. When you don't win and you're trying to preach a winning type of product and an atmosphere and an attitude,
come on, bro.
It's hard when you're a zero. So
it's super hard, bro. And like I said, Chris Paul, like you said, he had a very good tenure, top point guard in the league for maybe 5 to 7 years ish until Curry took that mantle.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
he didn't win nothing though. He didn't win with the Clippers. He didn't win. What was?
No, he went with nobody. He didn't win with the Rockets.
Now with the Hornets, nothing.
No. So yeah, it's basically he was basically a teacher / mentor in San Antonio for the brief time he was there as well. So
and he did a good part, trying to do that. But I'll say this: when he tried to go back to the Clippers, and I think he was narrowing it down to the Clippers or the Suns, bro. You should have just went back. You didn't win with the Suns. You were up 2-0 in the finals. You were up 2-0, and we won. We won our first. Chris Paul, you are so sorry, bro. You're sorry as hell. I ain't gonna lie. You sorry as hell.
It's very true.
Yo, I'm gonna rip him even more. This video has become like a 4-minute rip session of Chris Paul legacy. But yo, he's gonna just call it quits, bro. I don't think nobody's gonna be bro.
Nah,
Toronto would have been actually a good option to keep him.
It would have been a good option. I think a couple of minutes here and there he plays tonight, and obviously maybe he's more of a negative presence than he is a positive presence, obviously.
Yo, and you know what? I think you might be right. I think you hit nail in the coffin with that one. I think that's what it's become. Like, you can't be at the Clippers locker room. Look, even though they took the Nuggets to 7 last year, they balled out. They had a good roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guess what? When they started turning things around was when he got cut. So come on, bro. Let's make it make sense here. Kawhi, you can't be trying to preach stuff to Kawhi Leonard, man.
No,
I mean, look, respectfully, good career. Some call it great. I personally don't. Good career, and that's all I'll say about Chris Paul. Look, like I said, and like you would agree as well, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, to an extent, even guys like Russell Westbrook, like, they wouldn't go out like this, bro.
No.
They ain't going out like this. Westbrook's balling his ass off in Sacramento.
In Sacramento, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Year 18 for Westbrook. Even like, I don't know. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Sure. I don't want to rant about CP3 that much, but
that's okay.
it is what it is. It's just it was funny seeing that today because I thought for a chance, like a small chance, all right, he's gonna end off his career in Toronto. 2 minutes later, he's cut.
He's cut. And you make a good point though about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was another guy that was literally dead in the water. I mean, you talk about a 180 turnaround from what he was doing.
180
in OKC with Houston even, and obviously he goes to Denver. He goes to I forgot. Obviously he's with
the Clippers
Kings now.
Not bad.
The Clippers he was okay, but
now
he was a shell of himself.
Out.
He was a shell of himself. He goes to Sacramento and he's.
I'll argue right now. Who's the best Kings player currently playing right now? I think
it might be actually Westbrook. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, bro. And you know what? Props to him because now most likely he's going to earn another year. If he keeps playing, teams are going to be like, you know what? Let's sign this guy. Be our sixth man.
Yeah, I agree. They'll try to squeeze whatever juice they got left in that orange. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. We'll see. And not to mention, I don't even want to keep rambling, but there was a way that Westbrook kind of got scapegoated out of the Lakers, but that's a story for another day.
True.
Obviously.
Very true. It also wasn't working there. It wasn't working.
And that's a story for another day. But I'll say this, just to wrap up our Wednesday edition of this trade deadline report. Tomorrow we're going to have, when you guys are seeing this, we're going to have a live stream. JD might tune in. while he's on his break. I know I'll be going crazy for about 3 hours, basic, or maybe 3.5, technically 11:30 Central Time, from all the way buzzer beater 3 o'clock my time. And I think that's about 3 hours and a half. Really, I could make it 4, but it's gonna be incredible because if stuff breaks during the live stream, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I mean, unfortunately, it might hurt, but if Giannis trade happens and you guys see my immediate reactions, that would be super funny. But JD, real quick, before we are less than 24 hours of the deadline of going and leaving us, do you have any name in mind that for sure you see getting traded?
That's a good question. Honestly, I really did think that Giannis was going to get traded. I'm still going to say that something happens tomorrow.
Okay.
And I think that teams are really going to make a push, a final push. Would I be surprised if he doesn't get dealt? No. But I'm going to say that tomorrow, really, you'll see the best of the best when it comes to the offers. I do think that teams are going to put out their best and final tomorrow.
Right.
So let's just say, let's give it a hot take that Giannis, his last day is in Milwaukee, and tomorrow will be his last day.
All right. Oh, that's fair. I think if I had to say one player, now that Triple J's already gone, I'm gonna say that Ja Morant does get traded tomorrow. I think whether it's to Miami or Minnesota, if Minnesota or Miami pivot, I think it'll be to Ja Morant.
Well, he actually said he didn't want to go to the Kings. I believe the Kings were looking to trade
I don't
for
even
him.
blame him.
And then but you know what? Sometimes you just don't have enough power to do that.
Yeah,
like,
right. That's a good point.
You're now handcuffing your organization from trading you, and you're telling them where you want to go. Like, Ja, you're not that guy, bro. Like,
You're not that guy right now, bro.
Let's just call a spade a spade. You're not Giannis. Giannis can sit down with Milwaukee.
Yeah, he can say where you want to go.
He wants to go. You've had 2 issues with the law. Let's not get into that. Plus, you haven't won, and you're playing like absolute, for all intents and purposes, dog shit. So I don't think you have any type of leg to stand on when it comes to where you think your team should trade you. That's not how it works.
No, it's not. And if they believe they could get at least a possible first-round pick from Sacramento, guess what? They're going to do that because they're already stacked up within the next 7 years. They have 13 first-round picks. So Ja can't really demand.
So that's it. It's Ja has decided to not be interested in the Kings, per sources. That the Grizzlies came to him and said, "We have a potential deal with Sacramento in line. This is where it looks like it's headed." And he said, "I'm not going to Sacramento." I would have been like, "That's cool because you are going to Sacramento, and that's it." So
that's it, bro.
And he said he's interested in going to Miami. So now, not only if he's saying where he doesn't want to go, he's trying to dictate of where he actually wants to go. So I wouldn't trade that guy anywhere where he wants to go. I'd trade him nowhere. To South Dakota if they had a team.
I say Ja Morant is one name I have in mind. I think the other name that I do have in mind as well, just because, I mean, will the Lakers do anything at all, or will they stand pat? Gonna go with the guy like Trey Murphy from the Pelicans. I still have him in my mind saying that possibly he could get dealt. The Lakers will get desperate to get a 3-and-D player. So I have those 2 on my mind. Obviously, you said Giannis. Could Sabonis get traded? I did see a report that says Sabonis most likely will stay with the Kings and it'll be an off-season matter. So that does make sense. The Raptors stuff kind of fell off for Sabonis. And obviously the Celtics aren't going to get him because they got Vooch. So yeah, we'll just wait and see. But regardless, trade deadline tomorrow should be absolutely epic. I mean, today, by the time you guys are seeing this, the trade deadline today will be absolutely epic. Let us know what you guys think about this video. Let us know what players you do believe will get dealt before the trade deadline. Always make sure to subscribe here to JBM Sports Media. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at JBM Sports Media. Until the next one, we'll see you guys later. Peace.